Coach, do you like the way that your team has bounced back and responded to the tough defeat in the opener?
Really encouraged today. Thought we had a really good practice. Thought our guys came out focused, and I was encouraged by today.
Can you talk about the importance of the game beyond the fact that it's a service academy game and it's one of the most important games of the year? Based on the circumstance, it's also very important to try to get your team back on track, get the momentum, get the confidence in the players. I mean, a win changes everything as far as outlook, wouldn't you say?
No doubt, Wags. I mean, just in sports, the highs are high and the lows are lows, and it's week to week. And, you know, a lot of times you go from the penthouse to the outhouse and from the outhouse to the penthouse. You just got to keep pressing forward. But a win this early against, you know, the first leg of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy against Air Force would, you know, I think would catapult us for the rest of the season. So it's a huge game for a lot of reasons.
I was going to ask you about the Air Force defense a little bit. They have 5 of their best players on defense are the turnback kids. They were good players in 2019 but didn't play against you last year. Do you think that is a major factor? Do you think their defense will be stronger than last year because of that? I think the Jackson kid, the D-end, and Meeks, the inside linebacker, were all Mountain West Conference type players, so we know they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they were good last year. You know, for the team that they had in the shortened season, you know, they got after us last year on defense. But like you said, to add those guys back, and we know how good those guys are. You know, Will, I mean, he's a good player too. You know, they got Bugs, the cornerback, and so. But again, even without those guys last year, they got after us. So it's going to be a tough game. It always is playing against these guys. And we recognize that. They're a good team, good defense. Those guys coming back is going to make the challenge even tougher.
I think it seems to me that in years that Navy's beaten Air Force, you've always gotten good production out of the fullback. And that was one encouraging sign last week with the way James Harris II and Isaac Ruiz played. I mean, I think you'll take 148 yards out of the fullback position every day, right?
No doubt, Wags. Everything we do starts with the fullback. You know, we try to stop theirs, they try to stop ours. Normally, whatever fullback gets going, you know, that team normally wins, just like you said. So it's important for us to get that established. But one of the bright spots from last week, like you said, is our fullbacks ran well.
So the Lafayette game they played, I mean, are you able to gain much from that? I mean, I know that Lafayette's a Patriot League school, but then I was talking to Emmett Davis Sr., and he was at the game and said Lafayette was only down like 28-14 at one point. He thought they played pretty tough. So was that film valuable?
No, it's definitely valuable. I mean, you're always gaining information. They're a new team. We're a new team. 2021 is a new season. And so, you know, you look at last year just to gather data, but you look at the games from this season because that's the new team. That's the new chemistry. It's a new makeup. And so you gather a lot of data from that.
Scott?
How important are not only the captains, but your team leaders coming off a week where you kind of get punched in the mouth to bring the other guys up because they've seen stuff before, but they know the importance of getting right back?
Well, you're at a school of leadership. I mean, you know, the Naval Academy prides themselves in being the premier leadership institution in our country. And so at a school amongst leaders, we feel like we have great leaders on our team. And when you have a team that does anything good, or if you have an elite football team, the leadership always comes from the players. You know, yeah, we do stuff as coaches and that helps, but leadership always starts from within. And I've been encouraged by our leadership, not only the captains, like you said, but the other guys on our team.
And encouraged by the immediacy, getting an Air Force game, coming off a game like that where you've got Air Force, there's no question, you've got to be ready.
Well, probably the opener wasn't the greatest. I mean, you know, we didn't want to start off with Marshall. Right. But, you know, to get beat like that last week, probably the best remedy would be to play an Air Force. You know what I mean? Hey, you got no time for that. You know, no time to sulk, no time to feel sorry for yourself. You got the first leg of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy. You got to wipe all of that stuff from your mind and get ready. So it probably comes at a good time. Normally we play them in October, obviously to honor 9/11. You know, it falls well for us from a football standpoint.
John, with all you've been through, all your family's been through, all your friends growing up in Staten Island, coming into this game, what does it mean to you to be able to be playing a role for the Naval Academy on such an important day and such an important game?
Yeah, it means everything, you know, to me, but, you know, on a bigger scale, you know, to my community, to the people in Staten Island, to the people in New York City, you know, so many people I've grown up with, friends, family, I've been affected by 9/11. And it's one of those huge things that you will never forget at home. It's one of those things that are preached that you should never ever forget. And to play on 9/11 for the 20th anniversary, my father's going to be there. He's a first responder. He's a New York City firefighter. For him to be there, it means everything to me for him to step away from what he does and has been doing for the last 20 years to come see me play, so we can commemorate those we lost on that day and in the wars following.
So many things connect you and your family to what happened on that day. Your father, right off the bat, while you were too young to remember, he's had to tell you the stories of what he did that day.
Yes, sir. I was 20 months old to the day when 9/11 happened. I was sitting in a high chair, my mom feeding me, spoon feeding me right in the morning. My dad went to a golf outing. He went into the city right after he found out. He was at a golf outing. He was off duty, thank God. I'm pretty blessed and lucky for that to have happened. But for my dad, seeing him go through the years and having to deal with this, and looking up to him and how strong he's been through all this, and we refer to this as the brotherhood here. I like to refer to him and the firemen in his firehouse as his brothers. So he lost 4 men in his firehouse who he would consider his brothers. So looking at him and how he's responded through the years and how strong he's been and how he's been strong for his family, his friends, the families, the widows in the firehouse, it's been really remarkable. He's one of those leaders that I aspire to be one day.
And what was it like for you growing up with best friends who lost parents, loved ones on that day?
Yeah, it was pretty awful, just from my perspective. I can only imagine from their perspective. But, growing up with these friends who, were fatherless, and, having my father there, so many people I've played ball with throughout the years, my neighbor, and, seeing them go through what they have, I can't even imagine what that's like. And it really, in my perspective, it makes me even more lucky to have my father, and how blessed I am to have my dad. But I look at them as well, and I'm like, wow, I wish I could do something for them. I wish they could have this experience that I've had with my father, and it's just, unfortunately, can never happen. But you want to do something about it.
Well, something you can do. This game on national television, representing Staten Island,
Yes,
representing the family of a firefighter from New York City. That must be a great honor, and something that you really want to do well to honor them.
Yes, sir. Like my father says, I'll take a quote from his book. It's my honor to honor them. Every play, every snap, obviously you want to win the game and everything, but I think we all know that this takes on a much bigger meaning, this game. 20 years, never forget, and truly this day, with my dad there in the stands, all the emotion that's going to be flowing through our veins, flowing through our eyes, our heart, we truly want to play every snap to commemorate those people, and hopefully at the end of the game pull out the W for the people and the men and women lost that day.
And what a journey it's been for you at the Naval Academy. You've had some lows, but now into your senior year, some real highs, and now you're a contributor on this team, and you've really earned it.
Yes, sir. I'm pretty blessed. It's been a rough road here and there. It's a lot of highs, the lowest of lows, between grades and football. But I feel like life's coming full circle right now. This whole year is going to be a season of things coming to fruition in regards to football and just life in general. All the things I'll get to experience this year, starting with Saturday. Ending with my culmination of my entire football career in the Meadowlands against Army, which is 30 minutes from my house. So I'm pretty excited for that. It's going to be a great year.
Mark, what does it mean to you to be able to play in a game like this, that always important against Air Force, but on a day like this when the nation will be watching these two service academies honoring those on the anniversary of 9/11?
Well, obviously it means a lot. Being from Jersey, being from that area, you hear a lot of stories of retired firefighters. I've seen a lot. Dealt with a lot. My mom worked right across the water in Sea Caucus. So, it means a lot more being from that area, knowing a lot of more people who were affected by it. But it means the world, even being here to go out there and fight against my brothers.
What was it like for you as you got older, got into middle school and into high school, like you say, living 45 minutes from ground zero and hearing the stories, but each year when it came back on the anniversary, learning more to being a young man now, knowing about it?
It means a lot. Like I said, I actually used to walk literally right by the memorial every single day to go to school. So just seeing that every day, sometimes you kind of overlook it, but the older you get, the more it resonates with you how big of a deal and how important it is what we're doing here. And like I used to take a train every day, and I was sat next to a retired firefighter who fought 9/11. He was almost every other day. He was always on train with me, and he told me some fun stories, his firefighting days, and told me how 9/11 affected him, how he couldn't be himself anymore after that. So it means a lot right now.
And does that help you sometimes when you kind of down, maybe had a tough day in class, tough day in practice, things aren't going right? You think about things like that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, seeing what he's been through and hearing all the stories, it means like I'm really fortunate to be here. Other guys wish they could have this kind of journey I'm going through. So I gotta fight for whatever, even if I'm having a bad day in school or on the field. Just gotta keep pushing because I know I'm really fortunate to be here.
And a lot of the names that are on the facade at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium are of the battles that were waged by people because they joined the Navy, the Marines, because of what happened on 9/11. I would imagine it's a great inspiration having that as your home field.
Yes, it is. Like all fallen brothers, even though they weren't a part of the brotherhood, they're still brothers being in the military. So we know we got to fight for them every day. So
when you're out there in the field now, offensively, people look at the catches you make, but there's much more that a Navy wide receiver does. One of the biggest things is you're an extra lineman out there. How has that transition been now that you're a junior and you've really gotten comfortable with it?
Initially, of course, it was a little difficult, but Coach Yo kind of instilled it in my mind that we're not just here to catch passes and run reverses and do all the fun stuff. We got to get down in the gritty, be down there with the O-line and cut and crush block and block safeties and actually block corners. High school is a little more flashy. You get the ball, make some plays, everybody loves it. But now you get everything. You get the tight end work, you get the lineman work, you get the receiver work. So it's kind of fun now.
And you've got a position coach in Coach Yukaitis who's been there, done that. He played at the Naval Academy. He did what you do, and everything he's asking you to do, he's done.
Yeah, so knowing that he's done it before and knowing all the guys, like I have great relationships with all the guys who came before me, OJ, Davis, T-Jack, all them guys, Ryan Mitchell. So I know they did it, so I know I could do it too. They weren't the biggest guys either, some of them, and I know they could go out there and block their heart out for their brothers, so I could do the same thing. And
how cool are these Marine Corps uniforms you guys are going to be wearing?
Oh, they're fire. I love them. I love the helmets. I love the jerseys. I love them, man. Cleats, black, I love it.
And fired up to be playing Air Force. Nice to have them early in the season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fired up to be Air Force. Hey, we not playing. We beating them. Let's get it.